Good morning, students. For the inconvenience of the signal, I have posted yesterday very little topic and it also came late. So once again I am repeating yesterday's topics. Once check the topic. So the crystalline solids are divided into four types. That is based upon the particle size and nature of the bonding. Crystalline solids are classified into four types. First one is molecular solids, next one ionic solids, third one covalent, next one metallic. So coming to these four, we should know first of all lattice points. So lattice points is nothing but here when we are taking a crystal. So the crystal is arranged and orderly and also which consists of atoms, ions or molecules. So here whenever the atoms molecules are equally spaced with an orderly arrangement, means in a crystal it consists of equally spaced, the intermolecular spacing is equal. So here the atoms, molecules, ions, whatever you are placing here, that points we call it as lattice points. So for every type, means every crystal, the lattice points are occupied. Means in molecular crystals, let us see first of all molecular crystals. Lattice points are occupied by neutral molecules. Means what? Here neutral molecules is nothing but it contains no positive and no negative charge. Why? Because it is due to the presence of van der Waals forces and hydrogen bond, means weak force of attraction between these molecules. So that's why it is only lattice points are occupied by neutral molecules. It is also very hard. Of course, crystalline solids means they are an orderly arranged plane surface and sharp melting point it should have. But coming to here, it is having only low melting point. Why? Because it is not having force of attraction more, and also it molecules always consists of pure conductor of electricity, and it is very soft and it is soluble in non-polar solvents. Non-polar solvent is nothing but here polar solvents and non-polar solvents. Non-polar solvents is nothing but it is having diatomic molecules, means H2 is a diatomic molecule, P4 is a diatomic molecule, CO2 is a diatomic molecule. So we will be getting doubt how CO2 is a diatomic molecule. So when you take the structure of CO2, so this is the structure of CO2. So O2 consists of diatomic molecule. So coming to H2 is a diatomic molecule, HF is a diatomic molecule. This is about molecular crystals. Coming to ionic crystals. In ionic crystal, in the name itself will be knowing lattice points are occupied by ions, means positive charge and negative charge. It is very rigid and it is having high melting point, boiling point. It also pure conductor of electricity. It is soluble in polar solvents. Polar is nothing but different atoms. So the different atom consists of Na plus Cl minus. So it is soluble, means it shows conductance in molten state only, not in solids. Solids is nothing but here NaCl is a solid, salt, potassium nitrate is a salt, sodium sulfate is a salt. So this will not show any type of conductance. But coming to here, it shows a conductance, means molten state means what? When we are heating, at heating condition, so what will happen means the temperature increases. So that's why it shows the high melting point and boiling point. That one we call it as molten state. At molten state, it shows ionic crystal shows good conductor of electricity. Next one, coming to next type, covalent bond. Covalent crystals. Here mainly it deals with atoms only. It will not take any molecules or ions. So here the lattice points are occupied by only neutral atoms. Sorry, here I have written molecules. Neutral atoms only. So covalent is nothing but shared pair of electrons. So take two atoms A, B. In between one electron pair is there. So it gives one pair, it gives another. Means what here? Equal sharing of electrons to the two atoms. So atoms compulsory occupy covalent bonds which give high melting point and boiling point. It is also pure conductor of electricity. So in molecular crystals I am saying soluble in non-polar solvents. In ionic crystals soluble in polar solvents. Soluble is nothing but what? Which is dissolved. Means what? Let us take general example, salt water. So when you mix it in salt water, so what will happen? It will give clear liquid. That one soluble. Okay, but coming to covalent, it will not soluble in polar, non-polar and ordinary solvents also. It is not soluble. It is insoluble. Let us take salt, soil and water. So general soil and water, if you mix it, how it will look like? Insoluble. It will not mix. It will not give clear solution. That is nothing but insoluble. So which type of compounds here we are taking means what are the examples of this? Means diamond, graphite, quartz, polythene. So if you dissolve diamond in water, it will not soluble, and graphite is also not soluble. Quartz is nothing but glass. If you take glass and water, it is also not soluble. Polythene is also not soluble in water. Next one, coming to metallic crystals. So if suppose metallic crystal is nothing but there should be some characteristics. So what do you mean by some characteristics of metals? Means first of all it should have good conductor of electricity, and after that it should be ductile and malleability. It is having tensile strength also. So here good metals occupies the lattice points are occupied by positive ions and also sea of electrons. What do you mean by sea of electrons? So sea of electrons is nothing but here the positive charge is occupied by sea. In sea you see water will be having, okay, in the fishes are there. Means think fishes as positive charge and electrons as water. So see, your electron will carry negative charge and metals carry positive charge. Between the positive negative charge, positive charge ions are moving in the metals. So here it shows ductile and malleability. Ductile is nothing but it cut into thin sheets, it cut into thin wires. Thin sheets is nothing but when you take polythene cover, how much thin it is. So in the same way, whenever we are taking sheets, that will be very thin. That one we call it as ductile. Malleability is nothing but thin wires. If you take one bit of hair, how much thin it is. So in the same way malleability also will look like. Tensile is nothing but here elastic nature is having more in the metals. So here examples will be taken sodium, potassium, magnesium and nickel. So this is about the types of the crystalline solids. So next, our next topic is Bragg's equation. Very important for 4 marks. So listen carefully. Before going to this, we should know about the X-ray crystallography. X-ray crystallography. So here generally crystals act as diffraction grating for X-rays. So I am saying diffraction grating for X-rays. Means what? X-ray crystallography I am saying crystals generally act as diffraction grating for X-rays. So here diffraction means what? Grating means what? So I am taking one plate here, okay. So whenever I am passing some rays to this plate, it will give some parallel lines, okay. So means what here? Whenever the X-rays are passing to the plate, means plate is nothing but here grating. Grating is nothing but what, Amma? A piece of plate or glass which shows the parallel lines. That one we call it as grating. So this is nothing but grating. So then what do you mean by diffraction? Diffraction is nothing but whenever any light rays or waves passing, so from the edges what will happen means the light rays or waves from the edges, they will become bending, means the bending of the edges way of light rays or waves is known as diffraction. So here crystals will act as a diffraction grating for X-ray. Okay, so generally X-ray crystallography means what? Crystals generally reveals, by seeing it will look like cube or square shape. Yes or no? Sometimes crystal will be, we take it as cube or else a square shape. But coming to here, the internal structures we don't know. Means X-ray crystallography will reveal mainly the internal structure of the crystal. So here I have told you crystal consists of interatomic space between atoms, ions or molecule equally. Means the space between atoms is equally spaced. Okay. So here I said crystals are acting as diffraction grating for X-rays. So why it is acting as diffraction grating for X-rays? Because the wavelength, we should know first of all wavelength. The wavelength and also I said interatomic spacing. So the wavelength and interatomic spacing between these atoms or molecules is having the order nearly same, that is 1 angstroms. Once again I am saying see, before going to Bragg's equation we should know the X-ray crystallography. X-ray crystallography is nothing but here. So crystals will relieve the internal structure of it, means internal structure of the crystals we are studying here. Okay, so for that crystals act as diffraction grating for X-rays. So grating is nothing but whenever we are producing any rays to the plate, it will give some parallel lines. So plate or glass, this one we call it as grating. So diffraction means what? Whenever light rays or waves we are passing, means it is bending. Okay, so the waves are bending from the edges, we call it as diffraction. So this is about diffraction grating for X-ray. So but here we should know about the wavelength, frequency and also amplitude. So wavelength, so whenever generally for what we are why it is acting as diffraction grating for X-ray? Crystals are I told you crystals are acting as diffraction grating for X-ray. Why? Because the wavelength and also interatomic space between these atoms in the crystal is having the same order, that is 1 angstroms. So this is the reason crystals are acting as diffraction grating for X-ray. Okay, so here let us take electromagnetic radiation. You know electromagnetic radiation means it will act as both wave nature and also magnetic nature. Okay, in electromagnetic radiation we will be having wavelength, frequency and also amplitude. Okay, wavelength is nothing but what? If suppose this is a waves, so here the top, bottom and top one we call it as crest, bottom one we call it as trough. Means what? The two successive crest and trough we call it as, this one we call it as crest, this one we call it as trough. These are waves. The two successive crest and trough we call it as wavelength, which is indicated by lambda. Frequency is nothing but what? The number of waves passing in one cycle. That one we call it as frequency, indicated by mu. and amplitude is nothing but what? The maximum distance between the two waves is known as amplitude here. Okay, so here C indicates the propagation of light. Okay, the propagation of light means frequency and wavelength is related by C. C equals to propagation of light and lambda is wavelength, mu is frequency. Okay, so this is about electromagnetic radiation. So why I have told electromagnetic radiation means, so whenever we are taking X-rays, means let us think that X-rays are passing from two separate points. Let us think X-rays are passing from two separate points, that is only constructive interference and destructive interference. So see, X-rays are passing from two separate points, constructive interference and destructive interference. What do you mean by interference? When two waves are passing, it may give the result or it may not give the result. Means it may give higher or lower values or it may not give any values. That one we call it as interference. So here constructive interference, in the material I have posted see diagram. Constructive interference means will be in, means the waves is in same phase. That one we call it as constructive interference. Means here we will be having E1 energy, E2 means what, which is indicated by 2E naught. Okay, so this one we call it as constructive interference. Destructive interference means opposite. The waves not are in same phase, we call it as destructive interference. It cancels and the resultant wavelength is amplitude is 0. So to know the Bragg's equation, we should know constructive interference and destructive interference. Okay, so one scientist, Max von Laue, has what he had imagined means crystal act as a, what he has described means crystal act as a three-dimensional X-rays. Means Max von Laue, he said only the internal structure of the crystal, means crystal act as a three-dimensional of grating of X-rays. But coming to Bragg's has derived the cubic structure of sodium chloride crystals by using diffraction method. Means what, that is only we call it as Bragg's equation. Once again I am saying, see here, due to the presence of the constructive and destructive interference. So here constructive is nothing but the waves is in same phase, we call it as constructive. The waves is in destructive, we call it as, the waves is in opposite phase, we call it as destructive interference. For constructive we will be getting 2E0. Why? Because E1 and E2 are same, which is indicated by E0. E1 and E2 are the energies. So here the same phase, no, 2E0 we are getting. Coming to destructive, they are opposite, means they cancel each other. E0 minus E0 is equals to 0. But Max von Laue, what he told means internal structure of the crystal in a 3D dimensional gratings of X-rays. But coming to Bragg, what he suggested means he has determined the structure of cubic structure of X-ray diffraction method. Okay, now I am taking plane surface, inserting lattice points which are equally placed within atoms here. So what happening means, I am passing first ray. to the lattice point and also second ray to the lattice. X-rays are passing. So here the grating is inserted, means the distance for these two planes is divided by a distance d, and it will again reflect back with an angle theta. Let us give point O, A, B and C. Okay, see here I am inserting a crystal which is equally placed within lattice points, and the lattice planes are divided by a distance d. So here the X-rays are passing. The X-rays are passing here and again it is reflecting back. So whenever I am passing first X-ray, so it is meeting at the point O. So next whenever I am passing second ray, so how it is traveling more distance. So here I placed grating. Okay, grating I have placed. So what will happen means it can take whether constructive or destructive manner. So whenever it is reaching second ray means what? Whenever the second ray means B, OB. So here OA is okay. So divided by a distance D. So here we are getting AB plus BC is 2D sin theta. Why? Because it is in constructive interference, and here after crossing the grating the first ray is in a constructive manner. So that's why it is in same phase with B. Okay, means what? The path difference between the relation between the Bragg's equation is nothing but the path difference between two X-ray waves is n lambda. The path difference between two X-ray waves is n lambda. That is for constructive interference only. So this is the condition for the constructive interference which are in same direction. Means what? Here AB plus BC. So what are AB, BC we are taking that are perpendicular to each other. Means what? They are traveling at OB. What happening means we are placing grating. They are traveling in one direction only. So that means same phase only. That's why we are getting AB plus BC. So this, let us take for constructive interference the path difference for X-rays is n lambda, equation 1. And coming to from triangle AOB. So this is the triangle AOB. This is the triangle with an angle theta. AOB is equals to AB by OB is equals to sin theta from hypotenuse right angle triangle. So AB is equals to OB means the plane is divided with a distance, do you know? So D sin theta. Equation 2. Next from triangle BOC, this one. So what we are getting from triangle BOC, we will be getting BC by OB is equals to again from hypotenuse sin theta. BC is equals to D sin theta. This is equation 3. So when we combine this means when we add these three equations AB plus BC equals to n lambda. So here AB equals to D sin theta, BC equals to D sin theta n lambda. So 2D sin theta is equals to n lambda. So this is known as the relation between the distance and angle and also integers and also wavelength. That one we call it as Bragg's equation. D is the distance between the two successive planes. Theta is the angle of the interference. N is the integer. Lambda is the wavelength. This one we call it as Bragg's equation here. So Bragg's equation is having different methods, that is rotating crystal method, another one is powdered method or Debye-Scherrer method. So by using Bragg's equation we can determine this. These are no use for you. Up to here it is enough for you. So I'll explain what is rotating crystal method. Rotating crystal method is nothing but here wavelength is fixed, means lambda is fixed, angle only we'll be seeing maximum angle, how much it is rotating. So when we are passing X-rays to some slits, so it is having the rotating crystal, the sample is placed here. This is the rotating crystal, sample is placed. So we'll be noting the angle, that one we call it as rotating crystal, means the maximum angle displacement we'll be knowing, which is known as electrometer reading. That one we call it as rotating crystal method. Coming to powdered method, in cinema halls we'll be getting the screen, yes or no? So based upon this method, by using Bragg's equation method also we can say the Debye-Scherrer method. Why? Because it in the film it will give the some circles. Powdered method, when we place some powder, so here also wavelength, angle will be knowing by using Bragg's equation. So these are the general. So this is about Bragg's equation. Thank you. Tomorrow next class I will continue.